Everybody, Steve Tuig here, certified business and life strategist, and today I want to talk about something that comes up over and over and over again in talk, in sessions, in doing the work, and that is what is the importance of having a company mission. Many people think that having a mission is about attracting the right clients to you, and in some ways it is, but it's so much more than that. It runs so deep. And here's a video I did for a mastermind group that I run of full of business owners that are just killing it. I thought it would best if I just showed you something that I'd already created. So what is the importance of mission, and why do we need a mission to begin with?
Hey guys, part two to the video from yesterday, really understanding your company's purpose. This is important to me. This is important that we nail down because if we don't nail this down, my judgment is most companies that I'm running into are not accountable, nor are they integrous. And what I mean by that is that, what's your company mission? Ask yourself what your company mission is. Now ask yourself, did you have to think about what that company mission was? In other words, was it in your body? Was it the sole reason for doing what you're doing? Right? Does it drive you forward? Right? Because most of the time when I ask people what their company mission is, they either can tell me, but they've got to think on it, or they make something up. I think it's about like this, or I know it, but I got to go to my website and check it, and then I go, well, how well does your team? Well, my team doesn't know it. And if your team doesn't know it and you don't really know it, how well is your client going to know it? And if your client doesn't know it and your team doesn't know it, is that really your company mission? Right? So first off, if you've got something out on your website that says this is who we are and this is what we do, and you don't know that, feel that, believe that, push towards that, your KPIs aren't aligned to that, your critical drivers aren't aligned to that, why are you putting out your company mission out there that says that if that's not what all of your metrics and your systems are tied to? Right? Because what gets reported gets measured, what gets measured gets managed, what gets managed grows exponentially. I'll say that again. What gets reported gets measured, what gets measured gets managed, and what gets managed grows exponentially. And if you're telling me that your company mission is X, but none of your reporting and your metrics or your optics tie into X, then what you're telling me is we're looking over here, but we're trying to get here. And usually what I find out is you say that you're trying to get over here, but all your metrics and your systems and all your even your company cultures move you in a completely different direction. Now, when you take that back, when you take the power of mission back, and you take ownership of what you guys really are as a company and start driving you down the road, it does something magical. The first thing it does is it connects you to what your outcome is. So you start to feel in your body, this is why I'm doing. I see time and time again business owners who burn out because they got into business with these grandiose ideas of changing the world or impacting their environment or doing whatever it was that they were put there to do, and then they get stuck in the doing, and then they forget about why it is they got into business, and they didn't build anything around that so that they're continually moving in that direction, and now they're moving in this other direction and they're burnt out because partly because they've forgotten what it is that they've come to do. Right? When we tie our mission in with what we're doing and how we're doing it, and then we tie our key performance indicators and whether or not we're impacting the world in that way, and whether the world actually is interested in that kind of impact, and whether or not we're providing that, now what we're doing is we're building a system around what's really going on in our environment. We start to become very accountable to the environment and the impact we're making because all of our eyes and our visuals and our metrics and our optics are all tied to that. Right? So what does that do for you as a leader? One, it fills you back up with passion because you start to see what it is that you're doing. You start to see the impact. Once again, you start moving yourself spiritually, so to speak, down the road. The second thing it does is it gives you a deeper level of insight. Because if you tie your mission, if you tie all your KPIs, metrics, optics into the purpose that you're trying to create, and all of a sudden you find out that's not doing anything, you have to ask yourself, is this really the impact that our company needs to be making to provide value to our environment? And Peter Drucker said a business exists for one reason and one reason only, and that's to get and keep a client. So you got to know the mission is that you're using to impact that client, and then build all the stuff around that so that if something shifts up here, all of this here can follow behind it. What happens is We attach a mission to something that has nothing to do with what it is. We don't really follow. Say, yeah, this is kind of what we do, but we don't believe in it. We don't put metrics behind it. We don't commit to the mission. And then we go over here and we start doing this other stuff. And then we get into the doing and the being, and then we get lost in the metrics. And many times this environment shifts, and because the metrics weren't tied to whether we were actually making the impact we want, then all of a sudden now we're out of whack. The other thing it does is it gives you the opportunity to create what I call a high value culture. Again, Peter Drucker said business exists for one reason only, and that's to get and keep a client. Well, in today's world, there's really only one way to get and keep a client. And that's, you got to be willing to offer more value than anybody else could ever expect. It's called innovation, right? Innovation in its most simplistic terms means adding more value than anybody else could ever expect. A mission is the statement that says, this is the value that we're bringing to the world. Here's how we're going about it. It's very clear, right? There's a value proposition, you can call it whatever you want, right? Once we create a mission, now we've got a goal, an attainment, a direction to go in, right? And so then when we go to hire people, most people, when they hire people, they hire what I call paycheck employees. And then they come to me and talk to me about how they can't find good help. And I start digging in, and I find out that they're not in alignment with their mission, so they're not accountable, they're not integrous. They're hiring paycheck employees. Their culture is crap, for lack of a technical term, right? And then they come to me and go, I can't find good help, or I can't retain good help. I go, okay, well, let's step back. Let's imagine for a moment that you align yourself in your mission. You know exactly what your company needs to be doing. You've put all your KPIs and all your metrics in place. And now when we go to hire somebody, we hire somebody that's aligned with the belief systems, the mission that we're trying to create. Now we're no longer hiring a paycheck employee. Now what we're hiring is we're hiring somebody that believes in what it is we're doing. So when you nail down a mission that has muchness to it, for lack of a better word, right? And you align all your KPIs and your metrics and your systems and all that to that mission, and then you hire based upon that mission. Now what? You've got a different team. You've got a different outcome. You imagine what it would feel like to have, as a leader, everybody around you that believes in what you're doing. Like, I get the call, again, I get the call when a business operator gets on my line and I go, where are you at? Well, they're burning out. And I find out that they've surrounded themselves with paycheck employees, and I just have to ask myself, what is it, how difficult is it as a business owner to drag employees kicking and screaming across the finish line? Right? That's not sustainable long term. But when you align your team with your mission, then when you step into the room, you're surrounded by people that believe in making the impact that you're making, that believe in doing what it is you're doing. So it drives you to become more. It drives you to serve them at a higher level, so you're going to become more. You're going to go farther down the road. You're going to be able to accomplish and serve at a higher level as well. But when you've got people that are paycheck employees that you're constantly putting out fires for because they're only going to do what it is that you pay for them to do, they're not going to look for that extra mile. They're not going to try to push that extra mile. They're not going to give you that extra effort because they're just there for a paycheck. When you hire those people, how much longer do you think it's going to be before you get down the road and you've burned out? So again, align your mission with your true purpose. Align your mission with the real direction and impact that your company is going to make, so that you can align your team and yourself and all your metrics in one direction. And now your company is integrous. You're in integrity. Your words and your actions and your thoughts are all in alignment. They're moving in direction, and you're accountable because you can say, this is what we're trying to do. Here's all the ways that we're doing it. Here's the metrics that show that we're doing it. So now you as the business owner have really gained what I like to call oversight. Right? As a business operators, hear me, right? Business owners, you're going to be nodding your heads, but business operators, hear me, right? If you're not in alignment, if you don't have the right metrics in place to see what's going on or what's not going on in your business, you don't have the right team, you don't have the right systems, you don't have the right culture, then then there's no way for you as a business to drive this company to the next level. There's no way for you as a business operator to give up control to gain oversight, right? To gain true business ownership. That's why you'll spend your days putting out fires. That's why you'll spend your day wondering why you're herding cats. That's why business operators get tired and business owners get wealthy. So again, mission. Find a mission, find something that motivates you and drives you, and you can use to drive your team to do more, farther, better, and more efficient than your competition. And when you do that, the sky will be the limit. So if you have any questions about creating mission, you have any questions about KPIs and critical drivers, send me a PM. As you can see, I try to answer those questions. This is a continuation of a question that one of my clients, Elise, asked. And so I'm here to serve. I'm looking forward to possibly meeting you at one of our events. Until then, I want to wish you a great weekend. Have a great day and live with purpose.